And good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 p.m. I'm glad you're here tonight to watch and hopefully ask some questions if you have any. I'm monitoring the 14 News Facebook page. You can comment in there if you have something that's on your mind or that you want to get off your chest. We'll try to answer those questions for you this evening. And of course, a reminder, we do this stream show every night at 9 o'clock. And we are now on YouTube, so depending on how you're watching us, you can always get us on YouTube in addition to Roku and all the other streaming devices. It's clearing and very nice out there. It's going to be one of the coolest nights of the week. We will drop into the upper 50s, and the humidity is still behaving itself, so very pleasant combination. But we will start to get warmer through the week. Temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 80s here by Thursday. And just like last week, it looks like rain chances will pick up Friday through Sunday again. So maybe dodging some storms and rain over the weekend. On the big picture now on the radar, our line of showers and storms that came across the tri-state over the weekend is now out along the east coast here, still kicking up a few random severe storms. That's where the severe weather risk will be tonight. No risk for the tri-state tomorrow as high pressure builds in, and the same for Wednesday. So we got a couple days off here before things start to ramp up again by the end of the week. And predictably, not many clouds. When you don't have even a risk for storms, you're probably not going to see much cloud cover out there. We do begin to cloud up a bit on Thursday as humidity returns on that south breeze, and then we will see a good chance of showers and storms beginning Friday and continuing into the weekend. Here's a quick look ahead at that, and you see Friday afternoon and evening showing rain likely, or at least a good chance of scattered showers. The same for Sunday and or Saturday rather, Sunday and Monday. So yeah, another one of those weekends out there too. Temperatures this evening have cooled off pretty quickly since the air is relatively dry. We're at 70 now at Evansville, and most of the Great Lakes region has cooled off very pleasantly as that high pressure is drawing down low humidity Canadian air. Current temperatures range from 70 at Evansville, 70 Indianapolis, 71 Bowling Green, 65 up in Fort Wayne. For current temperatures here close to home, everybody again right around 70 degrees here at 9 o'clock. Looks like our almanac machine is broken. I know I saw an 82 today for the high, and I think we were down to about 64 or 65 for the low. That was the coolest that I saw when I was putting my forecast information together today. These graphics are auto-populated by the data feed from the Weather Service, so it will correct eventually. But for the month, at least for today, we had 0.08 of an inch. That came this morning with those showers and storms. For the month now, we're about an inch, at an inch, a little over, so nearly normal for rainfall. And our average temperature there slightly warmer than normal, about 0.7 of a degree higher than normal here for the first full week of June. Tomorrow, we get that temperature up to around 80 to 82 again. We have high pressure that will keep us clear. Meanwhile, the big storms will shift and move across the Gulf states there and into the eastern seaboard for tomorrow. But with high pressure over the plains, it will stay quiet. The only other thing we will have to keep an eye on will be that smoke from the Canadian wildfires. We're showing another plume possible there by late Tuesday night and early Wednesday, so you'll likely notice that kind of brownish or yellowish cast to the sky, even though we have full sunshine on tap. And on the hour-by-hour forecast, again, we continue with high pressure, pretty much fending off all cloud cover and active weather through Thursday. And then at the end of the week, we have some showers and storms returning. Temperatures at the normal level there, typical highs around 84, 85 degrees. So we're within striking distance of that. I showed you the GFS model before, just in case you missed it there off the top. Rain chances are pretty good, about a 40 to 50% chance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even into Monday. On the European model, it's a little less generous with rainfall on Friday. In fact, it keeps Friday dry. That's a bit of a head scratcher, but Saturday, Sunday both showing up with some rain. So that's consistent, and maybe Monday as well. So our rain chances on Friday, while low, still about 30 to 40%. I would go with that probability out there. I think we will still see some scattered showers, despite the European not really getting on board with it. 80 tomorrow, and then down the line, we have upper 80s on the way. Still no 90s, which is a little unusual. The outlook through the 19th of June calling for warmer than normal temperatures. Normal temps about 85, and wetter than normal too. A little more rain out there than we typically have. All right, we have, for pet pick tonight, we have a jumping bunny, or a climbing bunny. There they are, two. You see one climbing up there in the back, and the other one here looking through the rabbit warren chicken wire there. So always good to see some bunnies on there. Carter Smith sent that picture over. Let's see if we have any questions from you all, and we'll see what we can do. Lenny Howard's on tonight. Hey, Lenny. Good to have you there in Whitesville. Good evening, Jeanette Rice. Deborah James is on. Lakina Everhart's on. Laura Gray is always watching from Dawson Springs. We're glad to have you on here tonight, too. And there's Jeff Miller. All right, let's get the rain lowdown. He's got a gauge out there. 2.6 inches of rain in Saval so far this month. Garden is a muddy mess. You need to start a rice paddy out there. Just, clear out some space and get that going. Ashlyn Emmons is on tonight. Sabrina Lundrum is in this evening. Good evening. Kimmy Rogers from Morton's Gap is on. All right. Glad to have you with us. There's Patty Mueller again. She gives her approval for today. It was a pretty day. Not a care in the world when the weather's like that. I mentioned earlier we haven't had 90 degrees yet. Isn't that weird? Last year we hit our first 90 on the 21st of May. The year before that it was on the 1st of June. In recent memory, one of the later first 90s happened in 2003. It was around the 20th, I think, of June, maybe the 22nd or 3rd, which is very late. The latest it's ever come, first 90-degree temp, was actually July the 6th in 1938. Can you imagine that? And the earliest 90 we've ever had actually happened back in 1967. The average date for it, or mean date, is May 31st. So we are a little overdue, not alarmingly so. This is Oceans Month, according to NOAA, and so I thought I'd share a little water and ocean interest with you. First off, 96.5% of the globe is covered in ocean. Now, wait a minute. Here, let me get that. Yeah, that's 71% of the planet is covered by oceans, and of that, 90% plus is the sea, not just lakes and rivers and things like that. Of all the water that we have in the oceans, you know what? I misquoted myself there. Let me redo that. I get to make good here. All right, so what I meant to say was 96.5% of the water on Earth is tied up in the oceans. Okay, does that sound right? We know about 75% of the Earth is covered with water, but that's the percentage that's tied up in oceans, since it is Oceans Month around here. And now we get to the interesting part, which is of all that water, only a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction, what would that be, 10,000th, is in the atmosphere. Now, bear in mind, the atmosphere where all of our rain, all of our storms, all of that comes from, of all the water on Earth, only a tiny, tiny fraction is above us and suspended and going through the water cycle. If all that rain or moisture in the atmosphere were realized or wrung out, it would equal 1 inch of rain over the entire planet all at once. 68% of the water on the planet is actually tied up in glaciers and ice, and that number is probably coming down as these glaciers and ice continue to melt away as the climate warms up. About 30% of our water is underground in groundwater and aquifers and the like. If you have well water, you know what I'm talking about here. And only about 3.5% of the world's water is fresh, meaning it can be drunk, right? River water, lake water, and the like. That's just a very small percentage of that huge amount. Just kind of interesting next time you take that drink of water. Also, with regard to the oceans, of course, we've learned over the several decades or more that the temperature of the ocean can have a bearing on weather patterns over North America. We call that El Nino or La Nina, depending on where the warm water is. When the trade winds are blowing offshore, the warm water out there is pushed out into the middle of the ocean, and we call that La Nina. However, during El Nino, the warm water surface drifts towards the coast, right? Drifts inward. And that's causes rather El Nino to happen. The warmer water then fuels basically the position of the jet stream, and that has a ripple impact on how the seasons play out sometimes. Unfortunately, even though we can tell whether we are in a La Nina or El Nino pattern, it's very difficult to know when we're in the middle of it how strong it is, how weak it is, and how it will impact the weather. We can only figure that out by going backwards, looking back, and determining if La Nina or El Nino were factors. Adam Lewiggs, this rain is really starting to make me mad. It's like we get 2 good days and, yeah, I know, then we have more rain. This weekend is daughter's 3rd birthday, so no racetrack. Oh, yeah, they canceled the race. You couldn't go up there and camp. I thought about you Friday. I was actually in Terre Haute, and it rained up there, too, if that makes you feel any better. But, yeah, we can't quite get the rain in sync with most people's lives, which is you work during the week and you got the weekend off. So we'll see what happens. Laura Gray wants to know, will we see the strawberry moon this week? Yes, the full strawberry moon coming to a sky near you. I can't remember exactly when the full moon is. Here, let me look on my sky chart, and I will tell you. The full moon will be June 11th. So that is coming, day after tomorrow, right, Wednesday. Full strawberry moon on the 11th, okay? So we will all behold that together. How about? All right, let me go back here. Let's see, there I am. All right, I really appreciate you watching us here this evening on the stream show tonight and every night. On 14 News at 10, we'll have a look at how much warmer it's going to get tomorrow. And also, I should have a better idea of when that rain will start to move back in on Friday. So that's something to look forward to, as always. But in the meantime, please stay safe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on 14 News at 10.